I think it froze, but it should be back. I think it's back. Yeah, I think it's back. My Wi-Fi went out for like a second. That was weird. But it means that we have to take responsibility and we have to take accountability for our mental health and not letting other people stress us out, not letting life stress us out. And when we need those breaks, like when we're going through a really stressful situation, maybe you're dealing with a health problem, or maybe being a caregiver for other people in your life. Maybe it could be your kids, it could be parents, it could be siblings. Um, while we have to do the adulting part, we also have to take care of ourselves. You know, we're not going to be any good to be able to help other people if we're not doing anything for our self-care, if we're not doing anything for our self-love. And it's a learning lesson. Even though I am an advocate and I talk about self-love and I talk about, you know, prioritizing ourselves and our mental health and all of those important things, I still struggle to maintain self-love because this is just a part of being an adult. There's so much responsibilities that we have as adults. And to love ourselves, it means that we have to strike a balance between work and regular life, making time for the important things in our life. And I had to learn that I was important enough to spend time on. I was important enough to spend time on myself. And I had to advocate for myself. I had to say, yeah, you work hard, but you also need to take a few days off for relaxation, for vacation, for all of those things. Hey, love baby, good afternoon. How are you doing? Happy Saturday. Okay, I think it's back. I think it's back. I think it's back. I had to switch locations. I hope it's back. I had to switch locations because my Wi-Fi went out, so I had to come downstairs. I hate that the Wi-Fi goes out sometimes. But how are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing great. Good afternoon to all of the GEMS family. Today we're going to be talking about self-love. And I think that self-love is one of those things. So, self-love is one of those things that it's important for us to take care of ourselves. It's important for us to respect ourselves, respect our boundaries, and know when something is good for us and know when something isn't. You got to know what works for you, and you have to know what doesn't work for you. So that's one of the things that I love about, you know, being an adult, is learning how to have balance. Hi, Shamir. How are you? Welcome. That's one of the things that I had to learn. I had to learn how to have balance in life, and I had to learn how to be happy. And there's nobody that can give us love but ourselves. Hi, I don't know how to say your name. Hafiz? I hope I said your name right. Welcome. How are you all doing? Happy Saturday. You know, part of self-love is knowing what we each personally need. Nobody can know what you need but you. And then giving yourself that permission to actually do it, actually go for it, actually take care of yourself, actually prioritize yourself. So that's one thing that I had to learn. I had to learn how to love myself. I had to learn how to put out boundaries. That's a very important part of self-love, is setting boundaries not only with others but with yourself. Knowing what you want, what are your objectives, what are you trying to accomplish, and then going for it. So that's one of the things that I had to learn. That part is just learning how to respect myself and respect my own opinions, and not letting other people, like relatives or friends or social media or other people, tell me how I feel. You got to know how you feel. And self-love is important, everybody. Even if your relatives, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, even if other people don't respect you, you have to respect yourself, you know? Uh, um, Hi, music group. How are you doing? Thank you so much. Hey, Charlene. How are you doing? Welcome. Happy Saturday, everybody. Today, I wanted to talk about Self-Love Saturday and talk about something that a lot of people don't really think about. And what a lot of people don't think about is how they can love themselves better. And there's a lot of people who don't know how to love themselves. They don't know what it is, but we can always learn. So that's something that's important. We can always learn how to love ourselves. We can always learn how to, speak up for ourselves. We have to learn that part. And I think that's a wonderful thing about this life is learning how to respect ourselves and learning how to respect boundaries. Hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay. Yes, thank you so much for being here, music group. I hope you're doing great. Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Saturday morning or evening. I know I am linked with people on different time zones. So thank you guys so much for your support as always. I wanted to give a positive message and to encourage all of you to do something for yourself that shows how much you love yourself. One of the things that I had to learn in growing up, I had to learn to prioritize me, what I want to do, my goals in life, the things that I'm good at, and also thinking about my mental health, thinking about how I'm feeling, what I'm going through. So if you're dealing with something heavy, maybe somebody passed away, maybe you it's some newness in your life, some changes has happened, getting older, health problems. Part of self-love is giving yourself the permission to feel that, to seek help, to get support, and not looking for that support inside of friends or relatives or other people, but really finding a group of people who really will be there for you. And I love that I have learned that. Before, I used to always feel so discouraged expecting my relatives to be there for me. But when somebody doesn't know how to love themselves, they don't know how to love you. When somebody doesn't know how to deal with things, like they're used to ignoring things or pushing it to the background, not talking about it, they really don't know about communication skills. They really don't know how to love themselves. So how can a person be there for you and support you? So it's always in season for us to learn how to love ourselves, you know? And that's one thing that I think it's very important that we each have to learn how to respect boundaries within ourselves. I had to learn that if I was tired, part of my self-love is saying, no, I'm not going to go. No, I'm not going to do that. And not always having to feel like we have to show up for everybody. That's a part of self-love, is knowing when to say when. We have to know when to say, you know what? I deserve to sleep in today, or I don't want to do something. I don't want to go to something like an event, a family gathering, something like that, because you just don't want to. Part of self-love is knowing what you want to do and not really caring about the people who you will offend. You have to fill up your own cup and take care of yourself first. Because if you don't take care of yourself, there is absolutely nobody that's going to take care of you. There's nobody. And that's one of the things that I love about growing up and healing my inner child and knowing that I'm important. I'm important, and everybody who is in my life, that really pours into me and supports me, they're important too. So part of my self-love is learning what's important and what's not. And sometimes we'll feel like it's important for us to do everything for everyone. And no, a lot of times it's just time for us to make time for ourselves. Maybe a vacation. When's the last time you went on a vacation just by yourself? I don't mean including kids, spouse, significant other, this person and that person. I mean a solo vacation where you can do absolutely whatever it is that you want to do. Sleep in, go and sightsee, or whatever you want to do. You should have those times. That's a part of self-love, is spending time with yourself, by yourself. Hi, Hafiz. How are you doing? Welcome. That's a part of self-love, is learning to spend time by yourself. And the people who are very toxic and don't know how to love themselves don't understand why you need time by yourself. They want all your time, and to aggravate you, to control you, to tell you what to do, what to think. So you got to leave those people alone and find healthier relationships. For me, that was a very important part of self-love, is knowing that I don't have to show up for everybody. I can just show up for me today and to not feel guilty. That took a long time for me to be able to not feel guilty to do something for me and taking care of something I need. And it's going to go by moment to moment. Sometimes we'll need uh, just more sleep because you're physically tired. Other times you'll need to be out because you need to, get out, get some fresh air. Other times it's just, you just want to chill, maybe just relax, watch a movie or do something like that. Self-love depends on what you need at the moment, but we each know what we need, and we know what we need in loving ourselves. The more time we spend with each other and we pay attention, we spend with ourselves, we learn what we need. We learn how to be compassionate to ourselves, and most of the time we are compassionate to everybody in our life, but we forget to be compassionate to ourselves and say, it's okay if I'm tired. No, I don't have to go. And not feeling guilty, not feeling like we failed as a human being, that we're a bad sister, you're a bad, wife or boyfriend or cousin or this person or whoever is important to us. You know, sometimes we'll feel like we failed, and we haven't failed. It's a lot of times we'll feel like we failed at something, and that's something that is very important for us to understand. You have to know yourself, and you have to love yourself. You you have to love yourself, and there's nobody who's going to love you like you love yourself. And I know from going to therapy and really spending time with myself, developing a friendship with myself, and looking through my phone and seeing who are the people that really truly pour into me, and not just the people who say they love me. Because a lot of times people will keep saying, I love you, I'm here for you. And we know that line, right? I'm here for you anytime you need me. And the times where you need them, there's always an excuse how busy they are. That's why we have to have our own relationship with ourselves, because you're not going to let yourself down. You're going to show up for yourself. You're going to take care of yourself and prioritize yourself. That's one of the things about learning how to value yourself, respecting yourself and your energy, because sometimes our energy will be low, our spirit will be low, because we've allowed people to take advantage of us. And that's one thing that I know that I've done. I've allowed friends, I've allowed relatives, I've allowed just people to keep doing things to me, and I have not spoken up for myself. I have not advocated for myself. And we're the only one that can change that. That's a part of self-love, is giving yourself the permission to make changes as needed. And I know when I've needed to make changes in my life, I just do it. I just do it. I just let myself make the needed changes. Like I know that I have been a person that I've been eating way too much sweets. So I wasn't too hard on myself, and I'm not a person that's going to be like, "Oh, I'm not going to eat sweets," because that can't be sustainable. But I had to learn about portion control. That's a part of my self-love, is having the hard talks with myself. Like, you're eating too much sweets or junk food or fried food, you're not getting enough rest, and then finding ways to do what I need to do for myself. For me, that means self love. And I had to learn how to give myself that permission to, okay, it's time for a new plan. Because I'm definitely a stress eater. When I feel stressed out or when I'm very sad, I eat things that I know I should not eat, like junk food, ice cream, candy. Candy is my go to, especially chocolate. Eating a candy bar is my go to. And I'm trying to change healthier, have healthier habits because I love myself. And learning to not eat my pain is something that I think a lot of people struggle with. I definitely struggle with. When I'm feeling stressed out, the first thing I want to do is, let me go get some ice cream. I need some chips. I need some cookies. Instead of just taking a deep breath and talking about how I feel, the it's like the food becomes the comfort instead of having the conversations, right? Hi, Travel. Um, how are you doing? Welcome. I Love Baby says that's me. Yes, that's me. That's me all the way, Love Baby. I'm definitely the person that anytime I feel like overwhelmed and stressed out, I'm gonna be like, I need some ice cream, I need some cookies, I need a candy bar, and I don't need it. I want it, and I'm learning to change, change that dialogue. I'm just an honest person, and I think it's important for us to be honest with ourselves. That's how we get helped. That's how we take better care of ourselves and love ourselves better. And I'm learning to look at the triggers. What makes me want to eat unhealthy food? Hi, Roxanne. How are you doing? I had to look at the triggers. What makes me want to eat unhealthy food? I got to think about those things. And most of the time, it's stress, or I feel very sad, or I'm going through something and it's like, okay, let me go get some fried chicken. Let me go and eat a half a pint of ice cream. And I know that's not good, but it's what we do a lot of times. So instead of that, I'm learning, when I'm feeling really stressed out, I'll take my stress out by going for a walk, or I say, it's definitely time for me to go to the gym. Replacing that unhappy, toxic feeling that the food is going to support the pain, and it doesn't. You know, all that happens when we eat something bad is then you feel guilty. I shouldn't have ate that. But it sure tastes good, right? Let's be honest, it tastes good, but it's just not good for us. So, it's a learning process. We have to learn ourselves. And as we mature, I had to learn to stop doing the things that I grew up doing. When I was younger, every time when something would happen, like if you were upset, my mom would bring me a scoop of ice cream, or she'd be like, here, have some cookies. So I kind of developed those habits from my childhood, and I'm learning to unlearn the the bad behaviors and replace them with healthy things. That is nothing wrong with having something to eat if you want it, but it doesn't have to be cookies and ice cream and all of the, I would say, junk food. How about having a pineapple, or having making a smoothie, or eating a salad? It's nothing wrong with eating, but you have to be more aware of what you're eating, because it's going to have an effect on your body. And I know that for me, as I'm getting older, I'm seeing the side effects of certain foods. Like, I don't know about y'all, But when I was younger, I could eat anything. I never used to have like a stomach ache. It would never like make me feel like, oh, like sick to my stomach. Sometimes I want to throw up. But as you get older, your body can't break down things like it used to. And it's hard to accept that I can't eat what I used to eat. And things don't digest like it used to digest. And before, if you ate something, it didn't affect you, and now you eat something very small amount and you'll gain 1 or 2 pounds. So you have to be more aware, and part of my self-love is not denying myself the things that I like, because you can't sustain that, like cutting off sweets and fried food and things like that. You can't sustain that, because that's a part of having fun, enjoying your life. But it's about portion control and not overeating, and not eating because you're upset, but eating because you want to eat it, and not eating too much of it, overindulgence. And that's one of the things that I had to learn in loving myself, is portion control, you know, and I didn't have to keep joining the clean plate club. That used to be me all the time, feeling like I have to always clean my plate because that's how I was raised. Eat it all. You don't have to eat it all. You can save some for later and cut what you were eating in half. You know what they were saying, like, um, you should only be eating the size of your fist. And when I think about that, I was like, there's no way I'm eating just the size of my fist. Most of the time, I'm eating 4 times that. So, it's one of those things that I have to work on unlearning and relearning, and not just eating, but, and devouring the food. Take a bite, savor it, so that you can actually say, I am full. Because when you just shovel it down, and then the next thing you go, oh man, I'm so stuffed that all you want to do is sleep. So that's a part of my self-love, is I had to learn how to slow down when I eat, pay attention to what I'm eating, and balancing, learning to balance. Hi, Sasha. How are you doing? Welcome. I had to learn about balance. It's hard to be balanced in life. It's hard to take care of yourself because life is hard, things are expensive, and it's hard to find sustainable friendships. So it's hard to find sustainable relationships, because if you don't have relationships with people and they don't support you back, part of me in my self-love journey, I had to learn that because they are not there for me, that I shouldn't be there for them. And I used to have a lot of guilt involved in not doing things for people. Like, I would always feel like if I didn't do it for them, then I'm a bad person, that I'm not a good sister, or I wasn't a good daughter, or I wasn't a good this or that, or whoever the people in my life. And part of my self-love and self-care was learning that it was okay for me to have time for myself. It was okay for me. It's not okay to be used and abused. I had to learn how to speak up for myself, advocate for myself, and say no, you know. And I know that I grew up being taught a lot of enabling behaviors. You have to do that. That's your sister. That's your cousin. That's your this. That's your that. And we don't have to. So that's a part of unlearning for my self-love. And also, I would say for all of my GEMS family, we also have to learn how to love ourselves. So I wanted to say that to everybody. You got to learn how to love yourself. You got to learn what you want in this life, and then go for it. Hi, Luke. How are you doing? I had to learn how to go for it. I had to learn how to take care of myself. I had to learn how to respect my boundaries and do all of those things. that I needed to do so that I could be happy and I could have peace. And I hope all of you do the same thing. Do some things to take care of yourself. Do things to make you happy and not always doing things to make everybody around you happy. You got to think about yourself and what you want and what you need, okay? So thanks everybody for tuning in. Short and sweet. I just wanted to do a lunchtime live. It's a busy Saturday. I'm working on doing some cleaning and stuff. So I just wanted to tap in for a little bit. Hope you guys are doing great. Thanks so much for supporting me. Thank you so much to all of the new subscribers, the new channel members. Thank you so much. We're going to be doing a channel member live next week, channel members. I did not get a chance to say, but I'm only going to be doing one live next week, and the rest of the week I'm going to be taking the week off to enjoy myself. It's going to be a me vacation. I'm going to take a solo vacation from Thursday evening until Sunday. So I think I'm going to do a live stream on Monday, I think Monday. And then after that, you guys won't see. Tuesday, I'll have a premiere. And then after that, it's going to be member only live stream. And then I'll be back on the next week because I got to do some things to pour into myself. So this was just some encouragement to all of the GEMS family to make sure you take some time for you. Take a vacation, take a relaxation, do a staycation, take a day off of work for your mental health. Yeah, do what you need to do for yourself so that you can be okay. And you know what that looks like. If you're doing too much for other people, you need to set those boundaries. You need to cut people off, block people when you need to block them so that you can be okay. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in, GEMS family. We are on our road to 2,000 subscribers. I think I am 26 subscribers away from 2,000. I can't believe it. We're growing so well over here. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to the channel members. Shout out to my moderators that always support me. I appreciate every single one of you. And I want to say to every single one of you, and you, take care of yourself on this self-love Saturday. Do something for yourself. Take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, so that you can be happy and have peace. And don't wait for other people to give that to you. Got to be a part of you. You got to advocate for yourself. Okay, guys, I'll tap in on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your Saturday.